Cheng had agreed immediately and unequivocally, without giving the gravity or true meaning of Li's words much thought. That version of Cheng had been hungry for power and opportunity. He'd had eyes on the foreign affairs minister position for over a decade and had worked tirelessly to prove and endear himself to the Chinese president. He'd obediently and aggressively tried to demonstrate his skill and willingness to implement Li's political vision at every opportunity. And for this tireless effort, obedience, and loyalty, he had been rewarded. But recently, he had doubts that had begun to plague him. No, doubts was too strong a word. Second thoughts. He was having second thoughts. After all, words matter. Diplomacy was a profession defined by words, both spoken and unspoken. He'd witnessed the power of words firsthand over the past 2 years, as other nations' foreign policy was both made and unmade by the power of his words. As foreign minister, he spoke for China. He spoke for the party. He spoke for President Li. But speaking for the latter, unfortunately, had proven to be more challenging and precarious than he'd ever imagined. President Li was a difficult man to please. Pulling his roller suitcase behind him, Cheng stepped out of the lobby and under the covered porte-cochere, where his driver and car were waiting. The black Hongqi H9 luxury sedan sat idling at the curb just ahead, waiting to deliver him to the airport for his trip to Laos to represent China at the upcoming East Asia Summit. This would be his 5th time attending the EAS, his 2nd as foreign minister. The 18-nation convention was held annually to dialogue about political, environmental, and economic topics related to the stability and prosperity of East Asia. The original membership had only included East Asian countries, but the United States and Russian Federation had muscled their way into the mix in 2011, with dramatic effect. This summit would be no different than the last, Cheng presumed, with the U.S. contingent exerting their influence at every turn to challenge China's hegemony in setting the agenda and controlling regional policy. Cheng paused momentarily beside the car to make sure he was seen, but the driver did not get out to load Cheng's bag and open the door, as was the normal practice. Instead, the trunk popped open while the driver remained in the driver's seat, not turning to even look at Cheng. Annoyed, Cheng rolled his suitcase to the rear of the vehicle, placed it in the trunk himself, and shut the lid. He then walked to the rear passenger side door and let himself into the vehicle. Once he was settled into his seat, he looked toward the driver, who had yet to greet him, and that's when he noticed this H9 was not like the regular fleet of black cars that served the upper echelon of China's government ministries. This one had a tinted glass divider between the passenger and driver compartments, like one would find in a fancy limousine. Or a police car, said the voice in his head. Without a word from the driver, the H9 pulled away from Chaoyong Park Plaza and glided into Beijing traffic. Cheng was about to knock on the glass divider and tell the man to lower it when his mobile phone chimed with a text message. He retrieved it from his pocket and glanced at the screen. The sender was his wife. She'd forwarded a hyperlink with no accompanying message. Normally, he would have ignored something like this, but his wife was a good partner. She understood the stress and difficulties of his job, and she had always supported him without complaint. She knew her place, and long ago had ceased calling or texting him during working hours, only contacting him with urgent matters that she was not equipped to deal with herself. Because this was out of character, he clicked on the link. A web page opened on his mobile browser for the Global Times, China's international propaganda and daily tabloid newspaper. The headline article read, "Foreign Minister under investigation for..."